Hey, it is Aliki here, and today I will offer you the perfect Colombia itinerary. I have prepared a solid 2-week itinerary, so if you have 10 days or 1 week, it's all just about cutting off 1 or 2 destinations, and then if you have more time, I'm actually gonna make comments of when you can add in some more destinations. I'm gonna try to keep this video very short and sweet and structured, so you just get point by point how to plan your trip. But I have videos on every single destination. I have a blog article on every single destination, so I'm gonna link all the videos and blog articles in the description. So we're gonna start in Bogota because to Bogota usually are the best international flights. For Americans, there might be good flights to the north part, to the Caribbean too, but I'm gonna cover that at the end of itinerary. Also, I think it is a great start if you start in Bogota, the capital, because you're gonna learn so much about the capital, about the country in general, all the politics, all the internal matters, and I think that will help you to enjoy the further trip much more. So in Bogota, I think you need to allocate 2 days, and there are 3 things you have to do. First, you definitely have to do a free walking tour because you're gonna learn so much about the capital and the country. Then you have to do the graffiti tour because graffiti and murals, they have such a more important meaning. It's not just a drawing on a wall. Every single graffiti and mural has a really interesting and important story behind them. So yeah, definitely recommend the graffiti tour in Bogota. And also I recommend going up to the Monserrate Sanctuary because from there you're gonna see the best views of Bogota. And also, if you do have extra time, I highly recommend Gold Museum because it's one of the biggest gold museums in the world, and gold also had such an important meaning shaping Colombia's and whole South America's history. So I think it will be a very interesting visit for you. Then from Bogota we make our way to Salento. Salento is my personal favorite. I absolutely loved it. The Cocora Valley there, I think, is one of the highlights of my trip in Colombia. It's such a beautiful place, and also it's part of the coffee triangle. So Salento is definitely the destination where try some of the best coffee in the world. So as you can understand, 2 must-do things in Salento will be to hike and visit Cocora Valley, and also visit a coffee farm and go through the true coffee experience of how you collect coffee beans, how you process them, and then of course a coffee degustation, which is the best part. Although if you plan everything very smart and well, you can do only 1 day in Salento, but I highly recommend spending at least 2. Stay over there. It's a really cute little town. You can have a dinner there, watch sunset. So yeah, I definitely recommend 2 days in Salento, but if you're really tight on time, you can squeeze everything in 1 day. And then from Salento we make our way to Medellin. And here I want to add the 4-week itinerary note that if you do have extra time, make your way down to Cali, which is an amazing salsa capital. I personally didn't go there, but I've met a lot of people who talked very highly of Cali, and it's just like a really fun and amazing place to be. Only downside about Cali is that Cali is actually quite dangerous, so you need to be extra careful. But like anywhere in Colombia, as long as you're careful, you have common sense, you'll be completely fine. So if you love salsa, if you love dancing, if you love bachata as well, then Cali is gonna be the top place for you. Or if you just want to learn salsa or bachata, because there are a lot of schools and a lot of tourists actually go there to learn salsa and bachata, so don't worry, you don't have to be professional, you actually can go there to learn these dances. So then, either from Cali or from Salento, you make your way to Medellin. I think Medellin is just one of those places that you can't miss when you travel around Colombia, because Medellin holds so much history, so many important events that has shaped Colombia's history, the latest history, that I think any traveler, any explorer needs to visit Medellin during their Colombia trip. So in Medellin, I also definitely recommend doing a free walking tour because you're gonna learn all the important facts about the city and Colombia in general. And also Medellin is actually the fun party place to be, so probably try to plan Medellin during the weekend. There is this area called El Poblado. That's the safest and most popular place where tourists usually stay. Also, it's a lot of clubs, a lot of bars, and a lot of nice rooftop terraces. So Medellin is definitely the place where to go out. And even if you're not really into partying, just go out for some cocktails. It's definitely gonna offer you the fun party Colombia vibe. So in Medellin, I think 1 day and 1 night is completely enough. If you do have more time, then I highly recommend doing a day trip from Medellin to Guatapé. Guatapé is a really cute little town and it's famous for its rock. In Medellin, there are a lot of travel agencies that will offer you like a one-day tour to Guatapé, which is great if you're short on time. You go early in the morning, you return late in the evening. But if you have more time, then do it yourself. I did it myself. I spent 2 days there and it was really, really lovely. So now you have done like the central part of country, and from each place you could easily take a bus. It was like around a 7-hour bus drives from one place to another. But now we have to get to the north part of the country, the Caribbean, and the bus drive can take up to 16 hours, so I highly recommend taking a flight. So now from Medellin you make your way up to Cartagena. Cartagena is simply amazing and beautiful, and I definitely recommend allocating there at least 2 days. I would say 3 for sure, if not even 4, because there is so much to see and do and learn. And again, I advise to do the free walking tours through the different areas. So the 3 main areas you need to know about in Cartagena are the Old Town, the historical center, the Getsmani area, and Boca Grande. As I said, I go more in the detail of exactly what to do, what areas to check, best restaurants, where to stay. All that is in my Cartagena video and Cartagena blog. So if you are really planning your trip in detail, then make sure to check out that video and blog. If you have more time, definitely allocate 1 day for the islands around Cartagena. There are beautiful islands like Rosario Islands and many more. So there will be a lot of agencies offering you like a 1-day boat trip or even like a weekend trip around the islands. So yeah, if you have more time, definitely make sure to check out a boat trip around the islands. So now we're gonna move from Cartagena to Santa Marta. And that trip can be a bus trip. It shouldn't be too long, maybe around 5-6 hours, depending at what time of the day you are traveling. And Santa Marta, there isn't much to do itself in the city, but it's an amazing exit point to so many different things to do around Santa Marta. And one must do is Tayrona Park. It's one of the most beautiful national parks in Colombia, and it's absolutely incredible. You need to hike to get to the beaches, but you know, after the hike, it's so rewarding. This is a perfect day trip if you're short on time, but if you have more time, you can actually camp in the national park. Then a very famous and popular thing to do in Colombia, in Santa Marta area, is the Lost City hike. It's a lost city in the jungle, and you can't get there with a car or a bus. You have to hike there, and the hike takes at least 2 days. So the whole event takes around 4 days, because you have to get there and have to get back. And also you can't do it on your own. You have to have a local guide. So if you have time, you can definitely add that to your travel plans in Colombia, but I warn you, it's also a bit pricey. So if you're short on time and on a budget, then I have an amazing alternative, which is Minca. Minca is a little town up in the mountains, like in this jungle mountain environment, and it's just an hour drive away from Santa Marta, and it's an incredible place if you want to experience like the nature, the jungle vibe, being up in the mountains. Like nature wise, it's a perfect spot where to go to like switch off from all the city buzz and all the crazy traveling, and just spend a day or two just hiking around and enjoying, you know, the little village town up in the mountains. So in Santa Marta, you need 1 day for the Tayrona National Park, then 4 days if you are planning to do the Lost City trek. If not, then you can allocate 2 days for Minca. Now, a note for the 4-week itinerary. If you have more time, you can actually allocate a few days to stay in Palomino, which is a city around 2-hour drive away from Santa Marta, and it's a really good surfing spot. It's a nice beach, so for a perfect chill beach time, Palomino is a really lovely place to spend some time. So here is a note for the 4-week itinerary, that there are several little cute beach towns just an hour drive away from Santa Marta, so you can spend some extra days in like these little cool villages by the beach and just, you know, have an amazing chill beach time. Because the beaches in Colombia are great, but the closer you are to like these big cities, these like tourist spots, the more there will be people trying to sell you things on the beach and trying to offer you different services. So the farther you go to the small villages by the beaches you go, the less hustling there will be on the beaches. So another note to add for the 4-week itinerary is that you can make your way from Santa Marta to La Guajira Desert. It's a quite popular tour, so there will be a lot of agencies in Santa Marta offering it, but you have to allocate at least 4 days for that, because it takes more than a day just to get there, and then of course enjoy the beautiful desert and then come back. Also, here I want to comment that we started in Bogota just because 90% of the time the best tickets will be to Bogota. But I know that especially for Americans, there might be better, cheaper tickets to Cartagena, to the Caribbean city. So all this itinerary you can just switch around, and you can, at the beginning you can fly into Cartagena, do all the Caribbean north part of Colombia, and then fly into Medellin or Bogota and do the central part. Okay, so here is a quick summary. Bogota around 2 days, Salento around 2 days, Medellin 1 day and 1 night, ideally over the weekend, Cartagena around 2 days, although I personally recommend spending at least 3 days there, then allocate 1 day for an island trip, and then in Santa Marta you need 1 day for the Tayrona Park, and then up to you. If you have 4 days for the Lost City Trek, you can do that, but if you are short on time, then you can allocate 2 days for Minca. I have summarized all this also in my blog, so I'm going to put the link in the description. I hope this video will help to plan your Colombia trip better. As I said, I have a whole Colombia playlist. I have a video on each destination. I also have like helpful videos of everything you need to know before going to Colombia. So if you're planning your trip to Colombia, make sure to check out that playlist. I hope you have an amazing trip, and I'll see you in the next video.